Welcome, gentlemen. What the fuck is that around your finger?
Milk.
Why do you have a keychain that literally just says milk?
I can't remember.
He's got milk.
Yeah, no, I can't remember where I found this. It might have been in Georgia, actually. Like this, I just saw it somewhere, or no, it was like on a plane or an airport. I just was like, yeah, I'm taking that. That's going on my keys.
You found it on an airport?
Yeah.
You know what I just remembered yesterday? When I came home from California, I took a plane from LAX to Boston, right? And the Boston airport is fucking massive. And you have to take like shuttles to get from where you land to where you have to leave the next plane, right? So I didn't know I had to take a shuttle. And it was like 6:30 in the morning. And I couldn't sleep because there was a fucking crying baby next to me the entire flight. So I could not sleep. And I also had the fucking jet lag because I went 3 hours forward. So I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to find out where I have to go and just go there. And then I realized I had to pay for a shuttle, but I didn't have like any money to get on the buses. So what I did was I snuck through the entire airport in order to get where I had to go. At one point, I went out like a maintenance door, jumped down this fucking thing, landed on the actual bus track thing where they shuttle to, snuck all the way through the tunnel. I was hiding from security guards because there were people running around making sure people weren't sneaking through. I felt like fucking James Bond. It was the craziest moment of my life.
How have I never heard that
And then
story?
the security guard like opened, this door was supposed to be locked, but it wasn't, so he like opened it. And then he went through it, and I was like hiding and shit. And then I climbed over 2 fences. And then I walked through this little fucking area. And then I went to where he opened the door. I think it was supposed to be locked, but I'm not sure. And I just walked through. And then I creeped around like this little tiny edge around where like you can be, where the customers are supposed to be. And then I got there, and then I was where I was actually supposed to be. So I literally like fucking
and all the while in his head he's just doom.
No, I was horrified. I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I was just trying to get to my plane, and instead I was...
Must have been so much fun.
It was fun. I felt like Solid Snake.
Yeah.
It was actually fucking sick.
Weird.
That was a crazy trip.
How have I never heard that story? You've been back in California for 2 years.
Because sometimes I forget things and then I remember them later on.
It wasn't until now that he was able to declassify that information.
Yeah. The statute
Like
of limits.
memory. Did one of them
Touch me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's how I got my airport pass.
Ah.
Anyway, but it's
and
like
500 flyer miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, they bumped me up to the econ section. But fucking I don't know. I forgot all about that until like yesterday. And I just remembered it. I was like, holy fuck. I was sneaking my way through it. It literally felt like a compound. Because I went from inside to inside, back outside, back to inside. To this day, I don't know if, I could have just walked through a different exit and then just got to where I was supposed to go. Because I ended up popping up around, like, the entrance. Like, I had to go through all of this stuff that I already went through at LAX. Like, fucking check my ticket and check my bags and check all this. Oh, by the way, I was carrying all my bags with me while I was doing this, and I reeked of weed. Because in California, obviously,
that would be the least of your worries, though.
But
I'm sure every security guard there is fucking...
Just like, how many did we have this week?
But I did
some redheaded kid.
Yeah.
I didn't have.
And he looks real freaked out about it, so I feel bad.
But when I say reeked of weed, I mean actually fucking reeked.
No,
Because
I know.
I was on the pot farm around nothing but pot for a week straight
Pot.
with literally nothing else around me but pot. So
Who owns the farm up there?
My clothes were stained. My backpack was stained, and it had my backpack was stained, and it had my stained clothes inside my
You
backpack.
brought no weed back for me.
Yeah, I didn't want any. That's why I left, is because I was sick of seeing just that. I was like, this is...
I told you
fucking
before you
enough
left to bring me weed.
for me. Okay, you're right. I should have brought it a bunch of...
Or at least sent me some.
Franz, imagine if I just told you I was sneaking through an airport compound to get
Doesn't
on my
mean you can't
plane.
take one for the team and put it up your ass.
Right?
But imagine
We
how...
know you have a...
We know your butt's taut yet malleable.
But
You
imagine.
have an affinity for the keystring.
Yeah.
So, but you guys aren't hearing me here. I just said that I was sneaking my way around a fucking compound. Imagine if I would have had a bunch of weed with me too.
Well, he already smelled like it.
Yeah, I smelled
Nah,
like
for
it.
sure. If you'd have gotten caught, they'd have been firing a couple fingers up your ass.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I would have. I
He'd
mean,
moan
I
every
would.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have liked it, but that
They'd
doesn't
get
mean that
louder
it's good
every
for-
finger.
Franz, just because I like something doesn't mean it's good for your health. Okay, I'm sure heroin is lovely, but I
You
don't
keep
want to
bringing
be
up
injected.
heroin today, like,
I've been talking about heroin a lot lately.
It's a good thing.
that's a sign.
A sign of what?
I don't know, but I don't think it's a good one.
It's definitely not a bad one.
Okay,
Franz,
are
you
you
gotta sit
giving
closer.
direct
You
quotes
gotta
to
sit
Kurt
closer.
Cobain here? Like,
No, I didn't. I'm not gonna kill myself, Franz. Oh, look how mad he is. Look how fucking mad he is.
Not, though.
Franz still believes that fucking Courtney Love killed him.
I believe that.
I'd
say it's
way.
possible. I'd say it's possible.
Is it possible? Everything's possible. Jeffrey Epstein possibly committed suicide. Is it likely? No.
No, not at all.
That's another thing I've been thinking about.
No, I've been thinking about
I've
that.
been thinking
today,
about that a lot
actually.
lately. Jeffrey Epstein, that happened like not even like 2 weeks ago. Or
It's a
maybe
little longer than
or
that.
maybe two, okay, whatever. It happened not very long ago, and now everybody just conveniently forgets about it. The biggest pedophile in the world, who literally ran a pedophile island, but that Bill Clinton's been on 26 times, and all of these elites, Hollywood people, bankers, all these things, all go to this island to fuck kids. And this man is caught in the biggest scandal, like,
Ever.
ever. And then he kills himself, they say, with a
being on security.
being on suicide watch with like a paper bed sheet, and then the security guards conveniently forgot to check his cell for half an hour, and
they
also the security cameras malfunctioned before this happened.
And the eve of his suicide, they changed like his cellmate. They
took him out.
They took him out. Man, they like the Clintons. Some people wanted him dead, like bad.
Ooh, I'm already in hot trouble with Hillary. Better kill his ass.
But everybody just forgets about this. How can you forget about that?
Dude,
That's the
it's-
craziest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Well, how could Nazi Germany forget about the Holocaust? Like, they try really hard.
They don't try hard to forget it. They try to deny that it ever happened.
Yeah,
Big
as
difference.
the same way the Clintons are denying any hand in this Epstein suicide.
Okay, well, now he makes a good point. You know what all of these things have in common? The Jews. Think the Jews did this?
Okay,
How did
there,
the
Mama
Jews
Safe,
have-
you need to settle down.
No, but it's just like fucking, like the amount of fucking people that went to that fucking island.
To do nothing other than fuck kids. I mean, I'm sure, like...
And then like I hear that shit, and then I start thinking of all the times that I've listened to Alex Jones just laughing at all the shit he says, and I'm and then every fucking time I laugh, like
gotta quiet down.
I'm sorry. 3 years later, it comes out, Anthony Weiner's a fucking pedophile. Who'd have thought? Alex Jones 3 years ago.
Well, Alex Jones has been talking about Jeff Epstein for like 8 years. Like, he's been bringing this up. He was talking about Pedophile Island. He's talking about Bill Clinton and Jeff Epstein being friends. He's been talking about this shit forever. He's been right on so many crazy things, and people
It's
just
actually
totally
crazy.
discount
Next,
it.
next thing you're gonna know, they are really making fucking frogs gay.
Yeah.
No, they actually are. That's the funny thing, is that frogs actually, with these chemicals that they put in rivers, I don't know if it's fluoride, but something like that, it actually is changing the sexual makeup of these fucking frogs.
God, dude, it's so funny. It's just, it's
Or
just
maybe
that's
they just like getting on with all sorts of frog.
Morgan, are you okay?
yeah.
You are?
Why?
You sound like you're about to die of fucking Spanish flu.
I've been slightly under the weather, but not too bad.
No, that's not good. I'm sorry. Anyway, Alex Jones.
Dylan,
This dude-
how ready are you?
this dude
how
called the
willing are
fucking
you
Patriot
to roll the
Act, dude.
dice on getting sick?
Dude, I will roll the fucking dice. I'm never sick.
Can I hit that?
Give me a minute.
Dude. Does he care? He'll rim you like it's nothing. Like, you'll be on your deathbed from AIDS, and he'll just be like, well, he deserves a good way out.
Yeah,
That's Dylan.
that's how I want to go. No, I want to go out how
AIDS?
The fact that you think I would just rim him makes me upset because I'm a lot more compassionate. I would at least give him a rusty tea.
What is that?
The rusty trombone. It's where you eat a guy's ass and jerk him off at the same time.
Goodness.
The Alaskan Highway.
I don't know what that is.
You're not there yet.
You're not there yet. Well, you know, a good point, I guess.
Nah, man, I'm not about that.
Getting your asshole licked?
No, anytime like porn is on and anything with the butthole happens, I'm like, no.
That's why I can't watch Fake Taxi. I've tried to watch a couple Fake Taxi videos. Every time the girl starts eating this dude's ass. And even though it's not me that it's happening to, like yes, I could, in fact, skip forward in the video. But then...
I'm going to miss a lot.
Yeah, no, not just that. It's the fact that, like, there's his male asshole on her breath, and now, like, she's blowing him or kissing him or something. And, you know, I just can't change my mind from the fact that this girl licked this man's asshole.
Honestly, it's
I've had enough of
brave.
it.
It's brave. Guys have hairy assholes, dude. Like, imagine
See, this
how...
is why I watch Female Fake Taxi.
Well, there you go. That's a good one.
Because if it's two girls eating ass, then, like, they're down there anyway. What else are they going to do?
See, that's the whole thing, is if they don't eat each other's ass, the two women, that's just selfish. Because, like, eating
You're
ass...
denying something from each other.
Eating the woman's ass in this lesbian circumstance is, like... Because if you don't lick the asshole and you just lick the vagina, like, you're working with about a half inch of space there, and you're so limited. If you can do the asshole, then you got about a radius about 6 inches where you can just swab all the way around there. But if you can't, then you literally got this tiny little space that you can only maneuver around. It's a shame.
Just say it just opens up the playing field.
Yeah, exactly.
In this video, accurate guide to getting pink eye.
Franz, I didn't say give it an Eskimo kiss. So just give it a little tongue action 10
Eskimo kiss is nose. Like, what the fuck are you doing with your life?
I thought Eskimo kiss is when you... that's a butterfly kiss.
Nah,
it's like when he goes squink, squink, squink.
What the fuck is that?
Tom Segura.
I've watched Tom Segura's, like, his one special about 1,000 times. All of his other ones I've watched once, and we're like, they're okay. And then I never turn them on again.
I don't know. I've gone back to him.
I've been noticing a lot more, because I've been watching so much stand-up in the last couple years that, like, before, like, up until I was about 15, I never watched a bad stand-up, and now it's really hard for me to find a great one.
Because you become opinionated in your ways, and some comedians will say things you don't like.
No, it's not just that. It's like, just a lot of comedians just, like, because there's so much shit out there, like, Netflix has 1,000 fucking million stand-up specials, and so does YouTube and all of these places, like, and Amazon Prime. Like, the best stand-ups I've been watching lately have been comedians I didn't watch before up until a little while ago. So, like, Norm Macdonald's stand-up on Netflix. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life. And now he's all I've been watching for, like, a year and a half. Brian Regan. His stand-ups are fucking phenomenal. I don't know what it is, but lately I've been really liking clean comedians, because the two best stand-ups besides Norm Macdonald's that I've seen in the last couple years were Brian Regan's and Jim Gaffigan's new one on Amazon Prime. I watched... This is like the second...
not John Mulaney at all.
John Mulaney's are good, but there's something with his voice. I don't know what it is.
That's what makes it great. Motherfucker!
Well, I like John Mulaney a lot. I like his jokes, but sometimes... there's only so much I can watch of him. But Jim Gaffigan, who I've never liked before, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and it just came up on my autoplay. I was like, you know what? It's cool that... So I'm a big competition free market man. And it's cool that Amazon Prime is getting after, like, stand-up specials now. Because before, they had every George Carlin stand-up. And they have some of, like, Eddie Murphy's and stuff. Or maybe no, it's not Eddie Murphy. It's someone else. But...
Chris Rock.
I think it is Chris Rock, actually, yeah.
You fucking racist.
But, well, I don't like Chris Rock that much at all.
How?
I don't know. I just don't find him that funny. But, so... I was listening to him on the Joe Rogan thing, and he was talking about how he chose Amazon Prime instead of Netflix, which I thought was cool because I don't really like Netflix that much, so it pisses me off that they're getting literally everything. So I was like, you know what? I'll go on Amazon Prime. I'll watch his stand-up because just so the viewership number goes up, so Amazon Prime starts dishing out more money to better comedians like, I don't know, like a Louis J. Gomez or Big J. Okerson or something like that.
I love Big
so
J.
that way,
Okerson.
I
That
fucking
dude's
love him too.
hilarious.
The entire Legion of Skanks podcast is the greatest thing in the world. But, So I was like, I'll watch it just to get the viewership number up, so that way Amazon keeps going, getting more stand-ups. So I turn on Jim Gaffigan's new stand-up, and I'm expecting to laugh like a tiny bit, but not that much. Dude, I was sitting in the living room. It was like 1:30 in the morning, and I was bawling my eyes out for about 25 minutes straight. I don't remember the exact bit, but it's fucking hysterical. I loved like every single second of the stand-up.
That's awesome.
It was great.
You know,
I don't know what it is about clean comedians, but I'm starting to like them so much more. Like, I watched Jerry Seinfeld's 1991 stand-up again the other night. Been watching more Norm Macdonald, even though he's sometimes clean, sometimes not. It's iffy. Brian Regan is the man.
That moth joke he's got, dude.
The moth on Conan? It's the greatest joke ever told. The moth. It's the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Do you know who Norm Macdonald is?
No.
More. You gotta do.
All right, you've seen Billy Madison, right?
No.
You seen My Name's Earl?
Yes.
Played Little Chubby.
Little Chubby?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, the guy who owns the strip club in the town, wears the white cowboy hat, got the mustache.
No, he plays Colonel Sanders also. I think that's
he
what
also
you're
plays
thinking
Colonel Sanders.
The guy you described sounds like...
Have you seen Family Guy?
Did you ever see the Will Ferrell Jeopardy skits from SNL?
Yeah.
Turd Ferguson?
Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, that's it. Dude, he's the funniest. His stand-ups are great.
Burt Reynolds, what are you doing here?
His stand-ups are amazing, but him on late-night shows like David Letterman and Conan are the funniest things you'll ever see in your entire life. Because what it'll do is, like, when they do talk shows and stuff, before the show actually goes on, like, the host will ask them what they're going to talk about, and then they'll come up with questions. They already know the bits and what's going on and stuff. But when Norm Macdonald does it, he'll tell them everything, and then he'll just completely go off the fucking rails and, like, lie about what he's going to say and then just talk about other stuff, so nobody has any idea what the fuck he's going to say next. So this moth joke, he tells this, like, 8-minute long joke, and it's the slowest, driest, and stupidest joke in the world. But the ending,
hit the punchline.
But the punchline is the funniest fucking thing in the world. And everybody's like literally just sitting there like waiting. And fucking Conan O'Brien's like, "Are you gonna fucking get on with it?" And it's just the best. You have to fucking watch it. It's amazing.
So
that sounds really good.
You've seen Joker, of course.
Oh,
I haven't.
Have you seen?
I'm going this weekend.
Morgan, you need to see it as soon as
to.
possible. It's one of the greatest movies I've seen in a really long time.
Joaquin
You need to go
Phoenix
see it.
just had a.
Yeah, with Jimmy Fallon. Is that what you're talking? I didn't watch that video, but was it funny?
He pulled the line from the movie on Jimmy Fallon, and it freaked Jimmy Fallon right the fuck out.
Which one?
When he first gets on Maury's show.
Not the knock knock one?
Not the knock knock one. He's just like, "You brought me here just to make fun of me, Jimmy. You're awful." And he's got that serious Joker face, got the voice going.
Wait. Before you say anything, this is going to be a spoiler-filled review right now. By the way, that scene. So if you don't,
you're not spoiling it for me.
Fuck. Okay, well, I'm not gonna spoil it then, but I'm just gonna say this one thing.
Cover your ears.
No, don't cover your ears. No, this says fine, whatever. That scene with Robert De Niro and him at the end is one of the greatest movie scenes I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. Me and my dad were sitting there like just so tensed up and just could not take our eyes away.
Dude, same. That entire movie, what frightens me about it is how hyper-realistic it is.
Oh, no, 100%.
Like, this is something you can totally see happening even in today's society. Like, especially in today's society.
Society?
Yeah.
Society? But me and my dad were, after the movie got done, we left the theater, and we just stood outside for about 2 minutes, and we were just looking around. And I looked at him, and I was like, "So what'd you think?" He was like, "I don't know." He was like, "I feel really weird right now." I was like, "Dude, I don't know how I'm feeling. I just know that it's crazy." Like, I feel legitimately fucking insane from watching this movie.
Dude, a lot of people were walking out of that movie because of how dark it is.
My dad was telling me he was driving home, and he went by a Maple Fields, and he, for a split second, thought about robbing it. He's like, "Oh shit, I can't do that." He's like, "This movie's fucking with my head." And then because it does. Basically, you just follow Joaquin Phoenix go absolutely insane for 2 hours. And the camera, there's not a single scene in the movie that isn't focused on him. Like, he's literally in every single thing.
I really want to go see this.
You need to see it pronto. Like, go see it tonight if you got the chance. The movie is absolutely spectacular.
Probably could.
Probably
could.
There's a showing at 7. Go see it.
Got homework and stuff I've got to get
Dude,
done.
It's 2.5 hours. That's
2 hours.
Well,
It's only 2 hours.
It felt like a lot longer.
It's 122 minutes.
And I feel like this is like a movie I'd want to go see by myself.
I went and saw it with.
I went and saw it with my dad.
I went and saw it with my siblings, my cousin Dom, and Fee's boyfriend. Yeah, all of us. We walk out. We're like, what? Holy fucking shit! Like I'm saying, it's the best movie I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's the best movie you've ever seen.
Yeah.
I think it's up there. You know what?
I think it. And listen, I know what you're gonna say when I say this, but as in the comparison between Joaquin's Joker,
Okay,
and Heath Ledger's,
I've already made a video about. I did my Joker review. It was about 23 minutes long, so I want to see if what you're gonna say matches up with what I said.
All right. I don't know if I can say one of the others better.
That's exactly what I said. That's part of what I said, but I want to continue because I want to see if you have the same reasoning as I do.
Because as amazing as Heath Ledger's performance was, we end up knowing so little about his character other than that he's essentially an anarchist. He's essentially an anarchist, and that's really all we get to see of the Joker. And he mentions how he and Batman, two sides of the same coin. That's all well and good, and it's a great Joker performance. With Joaquin's Phoenix Joker, it's the backstory. It's one that we haven't heard of before, but only because it's a bit of all of the ones we've heard before.
See, this is my thought on who is better, Joaquin Phoenix. Because as you know, The Dark Knight's my favorite movie of all time, by far. Nothing else even really comes close, in my opinion. It's my favorite movie ever. But what I said was I can't really tell you who did better, Joaquin Phoenix or Heath Ledger, because Heath Ledger I thought did the greatest job of any movie character I've ever seen. But they were completely different. Heath Ledger was like the embodiment. He was more Joker in the comics. He was the embodiment of chaos and anarchy and destruction, and he played that absolutely perfectly. No backstory, like 15 different backstories, bunch of crazy stuff, just doing things he wanted, no money, no power, just to cause destruction. And he was also parrying off Batman, which is what the Joker does in the comics. This movie was more like using the Joker name to tell a completely different story.
Was Batman or anything like that involved?
It's all involved.
Well, Batman's not in the Joker.
Yeah,
Bruce Wayne's like 7 years old.
It's Gotham in the 80s.
70s, so like
70s.
71, I think. Or maybe it is 80, I don't know, but it has
Early
like
80s,
has the 70s Scorsese vibe.
I mean,
to it.
because it's got like the color TV, and
That's
there's
yeah,
other
that's
reasons. There's other reasons other than color TV. But
maybe it is 80s. But anyway, so I think for what Heath Ledger was doing, he played it perfectly. For what Joaquin Phoenix was doing, he played it perfectly.
Blew it out of the fucking
because
water.
Joaquin Phoenix, I think if you were to put him in The Dark Knight, wouldn't do anywhere near as good as Heath Ledger. But one of the amazing things about Heath Ledger is that we only saw him for about maybe half hour, 35 minutes of screen time, whereas we got 2 hours of all Joker screen time in this movie. So I think if you were to put Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix's spot, could not have done it. And I think it's the same exact way flipped. Like Joaquin Phoenix could not have done what Heath Ledger did. I think what both of them did was perfect, and I really can't come up with who I thought did better. I think, though, that the Joker Joaquin Phoenix played was more of a completely separate entity using the name Joker other than being the actual Joker. But then again, the movie makes it so unreliable narrator-like that you really have no idea what the fuck's going on. Like when... he...
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I can't say anything. But there's going to be a part...
No spoilers.
Let's just say there's a part in the movie where you're going to watch it, and anytime I see something like this happen in the movie, I always count. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can't have more than 6. In this movie, there's 9. And it's like, that's physically impossible. But then you realize that so are a bunch of other things that are happening, and you really don't know what's real actually happening and what how delusional he is. And it'll make sense to you when you see the movie.
No, I think I've already concocted it. I feel like that was probably a huge spoiler.
No, it's not a spoiler. It happens about 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
What?
All right, so here's my synopsis.
what happened, but
All
I'm
right.
telling you exactly when.
Well, a spoiler is something
So
that happens
it's
like
probably
an hour and a
I'm
half.
assuming that it's a bunch of different shit that just keeps happening and it ends up being fake. It's just his imagination, just his imagination, just
it
his
doesn't tell you. You have to figure it out yourself. This movie,
But
there's
aren't
no,
you just telling me that now?
Well, maybe there's no hand holding in the movie. It's
interpretation.
It's entirely up to interpretation. Same
Okay.
way in
A lot like the Killing Joke.
kind of remember the ending to.
All right, let's just not even talk about.
Do you remember the
this
ending
movie
to
anymore.
1984
I want to go.
in English
I
class?
want to go completely. Well, now half blind.
You know what? It's a good point. We won't talk about that anymore. But speaking of 1984, wasn't that a great book?
Oh my god, dude.
It was funny, but we got scheduled that in AP English.
We were both done the
We
book,
finished it
like,
because
the
we did
first-
like the first 4 chapters with the class, and then we were supposed to read chapter 5 that night. We were like, okay, and then I texted you and I was like, do you want to read a little bit ahead just to see what happens? You're like, yeah.
Yeah,
And
'cause
then
we were really into
And
it.
then I listened to the audiobook. I finished the entire book that one night, and
Yeah,
then
And then
You
you
did-
and then
did-
you
you
told
didn't
me
do any
about
reading.
that,
yeah,
and then
you
I did.
finished it the next night,
Yeah.
and
So we were like done the book like
while they were still
2 months ahead.
Jeez.
Winston didn't even fucking. I don't even think he went in that field and fucked Lucy. Was that her name? Or Jill or
Julia,
Julia, that's her name. Like that's everybody else was before that, and we already got to the part where fucking O'Brien completely. By the
No,
way,
I do think that
O'Brien
happened.
is one of the coolest characters of all time. Dude, it was so fucking, especially with the narrator and the audiobook
No, when
reading
they
it.
were,
He
like-
was so creepy.
Oh, dude, when they were in that book, when they're like interrogating him and they're doing like all that shit, and he's like, nothing is real. Whatever I say is like when he just goes off on that tangent about how
I think
like
therefore I am,
No,
and how you.
have you read 1984?
Yeah, a
if,
long
well,
time.
there-
if
there's
you
a
were the
part in
last human, you know,
No,
like
there's a part in it. I know Morgan's saying it's where he says, "I create realities. Like if I tell them 2 + 2 = 5, even if it really is 4, if I believe it and you believe it, then it equals 5."
yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh my!" Like I was playing Madden.
And then he starts. I can't remember what it was.
I was either playing Madden or Call of Duty, and I was listening to the audiobook while playing, just to keep like my mind like not to where like I'd fall
Well, that's what
asleep or
I was
anything.
doing it to CS:GO.
Yeah, well, I was doing the same thing, kind of just to keep myself active while listening to it. And once that whole chapter happened, I literally just put the controller down and was just staring at my entertainment center listening to it. And then when the fucking rats came out,
I can't
And
remember when he talks about stomping on a human skull.
he
just
said
repeatedly.
he said the struggle of humanity is a boot smashing the skull of
boot?
something. It was, I don't know, it was
Yeah.
just fucking great. Oh, that book was so good. What's the best book you've ever read, Franz? I know my favorite book of all. It's not the best book ever made, but it's my favorite, and it might be one of your favorites too.
John dies at the end.
The second one.
This book is full of spiders.
Yes, 100%.
Aren't they coming out with a new John Dave story soon?
I don't know.
I really hope they
I
are.
haven't even finished the third one. I read the first chapter of the third one a couple of years ago, and then
fancy suits and.
yeah, that one.
I don't know. I don't.
That's not a John and Dave.
No, that's a different one. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the actual third book of John Dies at the End. I bought it like 2 years ago.
Word, what is it?
I don't know. I
I-
sent a picture of it to you when I bought it, but I never read it.
I've never read John Dies in the End.
Have you ever watched the
fucking
movie?
fantastic.
The movie. The
movie-
movie's all right,
It's okay.
but
the
the
book's
book is
amazing.
amazing.
The book has one of like, in the book, there's these things that are called shadow people, and the whole point of the shadow people, they're like these entities that like, they completely erase people from existence. So like what they do is like they follow people and they try to like catch them and stuff, and when they do catch people, they completely like take them out of time and reality and everything completely. So like throughout the entire first book, like you're reading about this character, like they keep randomly mentioning this character's name that you don't know, and every time someone brings it up, other people are really confused, and you find out that like, because the whole story is mostly told in flashbacks. In the first one, it's told in mostly flashbacks, so you realize that like
I'd say
this,
about a quarter of this book is full of spiders.
yeah, no, that book.
Uh,
Well, no, a lot more than that because it's all countdown sort of thing.
That's true.
But
so probably half
you
the
find
book
out
is
that like
flashbacks.
this one character that they reference a couple times but is never actually in the book really was with them throughout 90% of the book, but at the end was taken away by the shadow people, and you really don't realize until the very end.
Oh, that's crazy.
But that's not even close to the craziest thing. Basically,
Well, hold on. Again, another thing. I'll have to read this book. I really like reading.
There's it's like 400 pages. It's pretty short.
It's a very quick read.
It's hilarious. It's fucking hysterical.
Okay.
The second book is even funnier, even more horror infused, and even cooler. The second book is probably my favorite book of all time.
I think a book that probably both of you guys would like. Have you ever heard of Johnny Got His Gun?
No.
It sounds familiar.
It sounds like a war book.
It is. It's like an anti-war book, but I don't know. It's just the concept of it is really cool. It's basically a World War I veteran, and like this isn't really a spoiler. I mean, gets hit by an artillery shell, loses both his arms, both his legs.
Oh, this is what the one by Metallica is based on.
Probably.
Yeah, he's deaf. He's blind.
Deaf,
he's
blind,
mute.
can't smell, talk. Like
Yeah, that's
has zero senses, and it's just the book is just his consciousness, just him being like, holy fuck.
The song "One" by Metallica is based on that book. That's
they
why
even have in the music video.
and in the music video too. That's why it sounded familiar. Where he says like, taking my arms, taking my legs, taking my soul.
Living
like
this life in hell.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, and it's just that's the whole book it's just nuts, dude. Like he's creates like lives for himself that he's living in his consciousness and
Like,
he's trying to stay awake and get back in touch with reality.
What's that fucking Rick and Morty episode where Morty lives the whole life in the arcade game?
Fucking Roy.
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 Holy shit, he's taking Roy off the map.
He's taking Roy
He doesn't have a social security card.
That show was great.
You beat cancer and went back to the carpet store. Fucking
way to waste your 40s, Morty.
Yeah.
That show was so great. I didn't really like the third season that much though.
No.
You know what? I didn't pay attention to that Rick Lantis one though.
Yeah, I did.
I heard
liked
that's like
that
the
one.
best episode of the entire show.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
wasn't really paying attention to it.
Which one was that?
The one where evil Morty takes over.
becomes the president?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that was
thought
a
that
great
one was
episode.
pretty good. Yeah.
My favorite episode of last season was the first one was great. Where fucking Rick kills everyone in the Citadel of Ricks or whatever. And then
Oh yeah, that one was great, dude.
The other one I can't fucking
The Szechuan sauce.
Oh, the one where they go to the roller coaster. And
Oh, the
everybody's
fucking
immortal.
something derby.
Oh, the one where like everyone, you can die as many times as you want. That's the gimmick.
that one was good too. Yeah, but other than that, the best episode of that entire show though is by far, no question about it. You can't even fucking argue with me against it.
Probably not gonna. I'm too lazy.
Is the episode with Total Recall, where he just keeps every time they imagine a new character, there's a bunch more.
I loved that fucking episode.
That's the first episode I watched was Mr. Meeseeks, and that's one of my favorites.
Look at me.
But when
I fucking hate that episode.
I
for some
love
reason.
that.
I just
episode.
want to die.
But when I saw Total Recall, that cemented that this is one of the best shows I've seen in a long time.
Do you remember when they trolled us for the season 3 preview?
Yeah, I fucking texted Morgan. I was like, dude, season 3 is out right now. The first episode is out. And he's like, dude, I know it's April Fool's Day. Fuck off. I was like, Morgan, I wouldn't make this up. You know I wouldn't. He goes, quit fucking with me. And I sent him a link. I said, just fucking click on it if you don't believe me. And he was like, fine, you fucking asshole. And then he clicked on it.
Told me.
And then I get a message. He was like, holy fuck, you weren't kidding. Let's fucking
Nah,
go.
I fucking lost my mind. I was like, oh man, and I was hammered too.
Yeah, you were
when
a
said
Chad.
that. Yeah, I was.
Man, do you remember the last party I went to over at Montcalm?
No, I don't remember anything.
That was the night of us. No. It's okay.
Okay.
It was the night of Stephen Hawking's death.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, I remember I told
Oh.
you. I told Evan, I said, Stephen Hawking just died, and Evan was hammered and high as fuck. Then he came upstairs, because at this point I separated myself from everybody.
No,
'Cause
I think I
hate
saw that on
violence.
my phone or something. It popped up on my phone.
Yeah, you started screaming. I heard
Dude,
you.
Yeah,
I had to
I
chase
just
you
lost
around.
my
You
mind.
were losing
I
it.
lost my fucking mind, dude. I had just finished reading both of his books, and I was like, wow, this is fucking sick. And then dead. I was like, that's fucking cute, man. I was like actually like on the ground, like I'm sorry. There's like a video of me just like freaking out. that he had died. I was really upset.
Yeah, Evan was almost crying talking to me. I was like, Evan, you don't know him. What are you losing by Steven? Like, I get being sad, but Evan was treating it as if, like, his mother just got hit by a fucking freight train. I was like, Evan, you're going to be
Mark
okay.
over here.
Nah, I just drank.
Like,
I just drank more and felt better.
For, like, the first 20 minutes, you had, like, pile-driven yourself into Keeg's room. And we were just sitting down on the floor. You're just like, I can't believe he's dead.
Yeah, I was just
freaking
freaking out. Yeah, I got better though.
Yeah, we packed into the bowl and then.
My problem
Everything
was
was
is
good.
like I was like, well, now what? Like, who's left?
That thing is
Neil
grotesque.
deGrasse Tyson.
He doesn't count. He doesn't know fucking shit.
Neil deGrasse Tyson's awesome.
He's awesome, but
I love Neil deGrasse
he's
Tyson.
awesome, dude. But like, what is he? Like, he just knows shit. He doesn't find shit out.
He's found some things out.
Like what?
I don't
Like
know
Earth
specifically,
bitch.
but I'm sure he's figured some things out.
Nah, he's not like fucking Einstein or fucking Hawking.
That was-
Like,
that's one of the
So you're
funniest
saying
things
not
I-
white?
no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he doesn't fucking
Morgan,
like Einstein was something else. Like, creative.
Morgan, I'm gonna stop you right there. Franz, what nationality was Albert Einstein?
He was German, wasn't he?
German. During what time was he alive? World
I don't
War II.
fucking know.
Oh, so Morgan's talking about a white scientist that was German during the 1940s, but he completely cuts off a black scientist. Now, are you a Nazi, Morg?
Yeah.
And you're talking to
Okay,
a guy
good. I
named
was making
Franz.
sure. With
So-
blonde hair and blue eyes.
Yeah, I'm about as Aryan as they get.
Nah,
I've been called
Neil
a
deGrasse Tyson. I haven't like. What was the last great discovery he made?
I don't fucking know.
I think exactly.
He's done something.
Exactly.
But anyway, what I was going to say is that, speak about Brian Regan, one of the funniest bits I've ever heard was he was talking about Einstein is looked at as one of the smartest people of all time, but anytime someone references him, it's to call someone an idiot. Like, there you go, Einstein.
That's
I don't know why.
pretty
But you
funny.
gotta remember,
It's
for most of his
hysterical.
life, people thought Einstein was a fucking idiot.
Well, he married his cousin and all he did was smoke weed. He's a big cannabis user. Albert.
Love Einstein.
Albert wants to settle down.
No.
Okay.
I just started reading his biography. But from what I've read, like, his whole thing, though, like, he was so much different from, like, so many people, especially now, like, creativity and stuff, like, that's his whole thing. He would just... Creativity is so fucking... You can't find that anywhere. Like, we are not, like, we're creative, I guess, but not like people
Not on his
used to
level.
be. No. And especially not on that level.
Well, it's because he had more opportunity to be creative.
Yeah, he didn't have cell
Yeah, he
phones.
didn't have a cell phone. He didn't have fucking Mass Effect. He didn't have...
Exactly.
He couldn't just think about wanting to watch porn, pull out a device, and then just watch porn. That's what we can do,
he'd have
okay?
to sneak into people's windows like the peeping Tom. He probably was.
He probably was. He was freaky looking enough to where I'm sure he watched at least one person have sex with someone. At least once.
He's definitely a John.
But
that
anyway.
man has definitely paid for sex in his life.
But anyway, I think if I was born in the 40s, I could have been Einstein.
Now, people were so much smarter back
No,
then.
they would have burned you for being a fucking ginger.
Yeah, they could have. They probably
They
would have.
definitely would have.
And they would have seen my hair. I would have been like, what is that?
You're about as Jewish looking as they get, dude.
Yeah, I know. That's
You'd
what
be
I'm
dead.
saying. I look at my nose. I have a big nose and I have curly fucking hair. They would have thought I was Alpha Jew. They would have thought I was like fucking Moses reincarnate.
Bud, I hate to break it to you. Moses wasn't white either.
That's why I said reincarnate, you fat fuck. Obviously, I'm not real Moses.
I'm not that fat anymore, bro.
Franz, you used to be really... No, you never were really fat, but you were...
Oh, well, the last couple years of high school, I was definitely chunky.
Yeah, you were fucking thick and groovy. And
Like gravy.
I got to call you fat all the time, and all of my nicknames for you and all my insults were to do with your weight. And now that you're not that fat anymore, it's sad. But, you know what's not sad? Is I can just lie and pretend he's still fat. So I can call him a fat faggot all that I want, and there's nothing he can do about it. I used to call him FC. Fat cunt.
Oh, yeah, that's spread to my current friend group. They love that one.
Every time I've ever met Franz's friends, I tell them all of the things to call him that makes him mad, and now they still do. They call him FC. They call him Fat Faggot. They call him
Franklin.
Frankenbeans, Bean Machine,
No,
the
they don't
Beaner
call,
Machiner.
No, those ones are still you exclusive.
Okay. I was
they
thinking...
stopped after Franklin. They found that one the funniest.
That one is pretty funny.
I have more nicknames for him than I ever thought humanly possible. It started off with, it was Franz, and then Franz and Hofer, then Franz and Heffer,
And
then
Franz and Gruber.
yeah, then Franz and Gruber, and then like Franz and Johann, and then Johann
Franz
Franz
and Hofer.
and then Frank, and then Frankfurter, then Frankenbeans, and then Frankenstein, and then
Frank the Skank.
then Frank the Skank, Franklin, Beans, Bean Machine, Beaner, Beriner, or
Faggot.
some shit. Then Faggot, Cunt, Nigger, Fag Lover. Then it started. At one point, it hit like a plateau, and then I just had to go really all in on it.
Yeah.
The first time I met Dylan was in
grease
fourth grade.
bag, grease ball.
Yeah.
Cockpipe Cosmonaut was one of them. That was his name in my phone for a while.
Oh my goodness, that's great.
Yeah, so when I first met Dylan, we were in fourth grade. I just moved to Cumberland Head. New school. And I don't know anybody, but I'm sitting next to Dylan, and our teacher's doing roll call, and she says my name, and I say, here, and my name's kind of fucking weird. So Dylan, who's sitting next to me, just looks over, and the first thing this man has ever said to me was, are you a Nazi? And in fourth grade, I don't know what a Nazi is. I'm in a new school. I'm trying to make new friends. I'm like, maybe? Like...
He said maybe, and I was like, oh shit.
But then he...
It's fucking amazing.
And then, you know, we end up being best friends. What was it, over Pink Floyd that we actually ended up being friends or whatever?
Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken.
And heavy metal.
That'll do.
Robot Chicken, Pink Floyd, Metallica, and...
I needed friends.
And you needed friends, yes. And I thought this big faggot really, I could use him as protection to protect my redheaded cunt self.
Yeah, look how well that worked out.
Franz used to be such a fucking idiot. When we were in like fourth grade,
I'm not gonna like this story.
Anytime we got mad at Franz, we would call him names, and Franz would like pretend he was trying to kill himself in fourth grade. So coming back from gym, me and Alex called him a fat piece of crap one time. So Franz's like, I've had enough of you guys. I'm sick of you making fun of me. So he just put his hands around his neck and started like choking himself and not breathing. And then for like probably 30 seconds, he was just sitting there choking himself and staring at me like fucking like a deer in the headlights, just looking me right in the eyes while holding like his fucking, what's this, the jugular carotid.
Jugular.
He was holding that and he was just staring at me. And I was like, you're gonna pass out, you fucking idiot. You're not gonna die. I was like, what is this gonna prove to me? I was like, you're 9 years old. You're not gonna kill yourself. And then I told him that he should. And I meant it. I really meant it at that point. And I still mean
Well,
it.
gentlemen, it's been nice seeing you tonight. No.
Also, what we used to do
Oh no.
to Franz. Oh, we've done a number on this poor fucking
Poor
child.
kid. Why do you hang out with him? You're like a battered wife.
No, he's an abused spouse to the utmost. At this point, if he's not being insulted, he thinks that people don't like him. I guarantee you, that's how his
I don't
mind
think
works.
anyone likes me regardless of how much they insult me.
Oh, shut up, you fat cunt.
Fuck you, faggot.
There we go.
They-
Franz used to be so unfunny that all we did, because Franz always wanted to be funny.
Oh yeah.
That's all he ever wanted in life was to be funny and play guitar. So,
Yeah, I don't do either of those things now.
So all he wanted to do was be funny. So he would make a bunch of jokes
Picked up
all
the
the time.
accordion.
Like I'm talking from 4th grade up until like 11th grade. He was never funny.
Okay,
And he
that's
would-
a stretch.
You Franz, you
I've
weren't-
really peaked in the last couple of years, but
Yeah, the last couple of
I
years.
think
you've
8th
made
grade
it.
was when I safely say I made my first 2 funny fucking jokes.
Yeah, that was when
one
you
of
made your
which
first
was
really funny joke, and we'll tell that in a minute because
Yeah.
I know what you're gonna say. Anyway, so Franz desperately wanted to be funny because we'd watch like stand-ups and we'd fuck around at like lunch. All we do is make fun of each other, and everybody'd be laughing, and
And
nobody
I
would
was the
laugh
butt
at
end.
Franz's joke. So because Franz would make a joke, nobody would laugh. Then we'd all make fun of him. I would always yell out in class as an idiot. People would laugh. Then he would yell out, trying to mimic me. Nobody would laugh. And then me and Alex would hit him for being a nuisance. So we've battered
don't
him
know why.
for so long that he had no choice but to become funny, and now he's hilarious. And his first funny joke ever was, we were at lunch in 8th grade. Yes, but let me tell the backup to it. At lunch in 8th grade, we had this huge table, and there was like 13
So
kids.
like a 9-seater.
Yeah,
but
we
we
had-
overstocked.
Yeah, no, it was, what was it, 12? No, yeah, we could fit 12 because there were 2 benches and then 3 seats along the edge.
Yeah.
So we could fit 12, but 13 wanted to sit with us. And we decided that we were going to kick out whoever was the least funny. So
I was
down to-
really screwed.
It was down to Franz and our other friend Clay. And
Clay to this day is a big boy.
Nobody else really liked Franz that much, but I always loved him. He was always one of my best friends. So I tried desperately hard to get him to stay. So like before lunch, I said, Franz, this is the day. Because we had a huge contest. It was whoever got the biggest amount of laughs got to stay. The other one was not allowed back at the table ever again.
Oh my god.
So
Yeah, middle school was awesome.
it was great. I loved it. So I was like,
Same.
Franz. So walking out, I was like, Franz, listen up. You got to be funny today. I was like, everything me and Alex have been yelling at you for the last couple of years, fucking turn that in. Take all of your anger and frustration that we've
What kind of
put
joke was
onto
this?
you.
Just like actual jokes, like you thought of them beforehand?
No, it's
No.
like riffing. Like kind of just a bunch of people talking, and then you say something to try to get laughs.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that's the only way I can be funny.
We weren't-
I thought like
We
the
weren't
way you're
having
setting
a
it up,
fucking-
it's like they're stepping up on the table like, hello, my name is Franz Pope.
didn't-
Here's my joke.
We didn't set up like a fucking podium and a applause break. For
No, we get kicked out.
Yeah, so we
Holy
just
shit, we
we
said
got-
so-
So Clay was the first one on the board. Clay made a decent joke. I forgot exactly what it was, but it was funny. We started laughing, and then I hit Franz. I said, "Franz, you gotta go." So then we started talking about porn or something.
Yeah, we were talking about porn, and the conversation goes into what we would do and what our roles would be if we were in porn videos. And Clay starts talking about what he would do if he was in a porn video, and I interrupt him. I'm like, "Dude, if you're in a porn video, you'd be the fucking bed." And
because
everyone
he was about
lost
300.
it.
He was about 300 pounds.
Yeah,
and
he was
fat
a
jokes
big
in
boy.
middle school always killed. But what also
And fat
the,
kills now.
The crazy thing was though is that Clay, me and Franz knew this. So we knew how to exploit it. Clay is one of those kids who will never make a joke at his own expense. So, when we were talking about what we do in porn or whatever, Clay was like, "Yeah, I'd be the best looking guy in porn. I would fuck all the hottest girls, and they'd be coming and everything. I'd just be so cool." So I was like, Franz, if you can't make fun of this fat retard right now after calling himself King Cock or whatever he is,
Yeah,
then
dude.
then you don't deserve to sit with me ever again.
That's so
he
funny.
had to kill it, and that was the only funny joke he's ever told up until that point. He couldn't come up with a single other good
No,
one
I
for the whole day.
stuttered. No, that
one.
And then 2 days later, his older brother got busted with weed at the school. He had half an ounce in his locker
After
and
getting a
another half in
D1
the car.
scholarship for football.
Yeah, and so he gets arrested. The dogs came in and everything, and like I said, altogether an ounce between his car and locker. And a week later, Clay's still trying to talk up his older brother. And he's like, "Yeah, my older brother just got this football scholarship." And I'm like, "Yeah, to where? Fucking Colorado?" Because they had just legalized at that point.
That's fucking
Yeah,
awesome.
that was a good dude. Franz won. To this day, that's the only contest Franz has ever won, and it might be the
Aside
only
from
he
hot
ever
dog
will
eating.
win. Franz, even then you'd lose.
Well, now.
No, that's not a fat joke. You're just not athletic enough to eat all the hot dogs. You're so fat and slow that you literally couldn't bring them up to your mouth fast enough to win.
Yeah, I'd have to take a breath between bites.
You'd have to fucking hyperventilate. You'd be like, not even a breath. You'd be like,
This is delicious.
that Franz would add fucking pound of bacon and ketchup and everything. He couldn't just eat the hot dog whole. Franz isn't a raw wiener sort of man.
Yeah.
I am these days.
Poor Franz. Also, another thing you made fun of Franz for is that the first time he ever had sex with someone, he almost got her pregnant, and she was also addicted to acid.
You
Nice.
can't.
That's when he almost killed himself again.
I just puked. I
got
puked and destroyed Justin's vape. That was the most that came out of that night.
fucking- That was a crazy night. We'll have to tell that
Yeah.
whole story again. But anyway, so at this point, Franz thinks he's a dad because this girl texts him and says, "I'm positive." And
Well, no,
Franz thought it was AIDS at first.
Well, I mean, what the fuck else do you say you're positive to? So, I'm not just gonna ask her AIDS because that could be a very wrong question that I don't want the correct
Franz is
answer
like,
to.
how long do I have?
It's really it. And so, it was Dylan's parents' wedding, and I had been with this girl 5 days beforehand, right? And I'm texting her at Dylan's parents' wedding reception, and Like, I just don't get it. I don't have a good feeling. It's like 2 PM. Like, I have to keep going out for air. Like, it was ridiculous. And everyone's like, is he good? And I'm like, yeah, no, fine. Just feel weird.
My parents'
And
wedding
it's
was
because,
awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
My uncle pissed himself. Alex's brother
Nice.
had about 30 beers and was Jersey Shoring. Alex's brother's about 6'4", 285. And he was dancing on the dance floor like he was in Jersey Shore.
Singing Landslide by Fleetwood Mac.
Yep, and keep in mind, he didn't know anybody that was there, except for me, Franz, Alex, and his parents. He had no idea who anybody
That's
was.
all you need.
He just
I
got
like the spirit.
he got so fucking hammered he couldn't control himself, and it was great.
I've never seen so much disappointment from his dad's face than when he started singing Fleetwood Mac drunkenly.
Oh yeah, no, Mike was not happy.
I'd have been so.
No.
I'll be so proud of my boy.
Right. So all the while this is happening, I'm texting this chick, and she's like, "Oh, I found out something interesting today." And I go, "Oh, what's that?" She goes, "I'll tell you in a minute." And a minute spans into 1:30 in the morning, right after we've almost gotten arrested. So I'm having a bad night. And she texts me, "I'm positive." And I'm like, what the
Keep in
fuck
mind,
do you mean positive?
This woman had a latex allergy, so Franz wasn't allowed to use condoms.
That's what did
Which
Trey
I think
dirty.
is a lie.
Oh, I said isn't.
No, you're
Which I
good.
think is a lie.
Which I think is a lie. You probably should have fucking figured that out.
I was 15 and was going to get my willy wet. So
And how'd that work out for you, you fat fuck?
I didn't think of the consequences that came crashing down almost immediately
do you
after.
understand why we made fun of him our entire lives now?
He's
Is
still
it
just
clicking?
mad that I lost my virginity before he did.
Yeah, I think that is the problem. I think you're just bad. I think you're just mad.
You know what? You might be right. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, but so I'm like, well, what the fuck do you mean positive? And she's like, think about it. And I'm like,
By the way,
and
I
I'm
don't
like,
want to.
this is the most
no.
cryptic way to tell
And I'm
someone
like, so I'm
these
like,
things.
pregnant?
That's how you know it's bullshit.
And so I'm like, pregnant? And she goes, don't tell anyone. When I received that text, I dropped my phone, hurdled Dylan's couch, and threw up so much in his bathroom. And all of them are like, dude,
texts
what the
about
fuck?
that? Who does a text message? Like, I'd be like, we need
Morgan,
to
did
talk.
you not just understand that I said this girl was addicted to acid when she was like 15?
True.
There you go.
And other things.
and other things.
Mostly cock.
That was stupid.
Nah, man, I'm asking my brothers with like half a piece steak. Like, it's ridiculous, and all from one girl.
All right, we'll continue.
But yeah, it was just.
So, she wasn't.
Well, she was, and then like I'm freaking out about it to the point where like Dylan is holding me while I am freaking out. I've been 16 for
wasn't
4
yours.
days. No, no,
Wow.
no, because I
That's
did
so-
not finish either time.
When he says that he was freaking out, I mean he was sitting on my floor in front of my futon, bawling his eyes out like he just watched Sophie's Choice, like uncontrollable amounts of tears were falling down.
Oh.
And I was like, I had my arm around him. I was like, Franz, I get it, buddy. It's gonna be okay. We'll get through
And then
this.
I'm like,
Don't
I
worry
get
about
it,
and
buddy.
then,
Don't
and
worry
no,
about.
but then he
and
made it worse.
Alex and Justin could not stop laughing the whole time, and they were like, I know, I have no filter, and I like to make fun of people at the worst possible times, but they were really going in on him. Like, at one point, like, Franz is sitting there crying, and Alex like, don't worry, Franz, it's not that big of a deal. You're not going to be a dad or anything. Oh shit, yeah, you are. And Justin was like, it's okay. Your dad was always there for you, so you'll be there. Oh wait, no, your dad wasn't there for you, was he? So Franz was like, fucking just...
No, and my dad
everyone-
always told me if I ever got a girl pregnant before the age of 18, I'm dead. So, now here's the thing. Like, I didn't finish either times I had sex with this girl. And, like, that was the only thing that was kind of reassuring me that it wasn't mine, and I said that. And
Yeah, he was wondering,
Dylan,
it's
who
not
was
me,
trying to
it's
comfort me, just absentmindedly goes, well, pre-cum was over 5,000 active sperm cells. And that just sent it into a worse level.
I didn't even mean it. I just couldn't help it. I was like, Franz, don't lie to yourself, right? At least be factually accurate about the situation you're in.
Yeah,
That's
and then
so
and at one
funny.
point, like, Justin was the only one of us that was vaping, and like the little butterfly vape or whatever, and I was very against it then. And he's just chucking clouds up over my face because I'm on the floor, he's on the bed.
That's the other thing. While Franz was crying, Justin was trying to get the biggest clouds he could and just blow them directly into Franz's face.
yeah.
They
and
were
so,
really-
and so at one point, like, I'm so down in the dumps, and this is where I feel bad.
That's
because like
amazing.
Justin, even though he's being a dick, is a good guy. So I'm like, hey man, Justin, can I see your vape? He goes, oh yeah, buddy, we were kind of hard at him. Like, oh. Then I shuck it against the wall and it explodes on the wall.
He literally fucking shattered the entire. This is like a $60 vape, right? Shatters the entire fucking thing. It left a nicotine stain on my wall that is still there.
He has the cover with a poster.
Awesome.
It was
But
my
Justin's
mom.
face is
My
just like,
mom just
"Ugh."
painted over it once I moved out of the house. Like it was there forever. It was right next to my computer desk. Fucking he massacred
Boom.
my wall. Yeah. And then Justin got really pissed off because that was his vape. And then Alex thought that was the funniest thing he's ever seen. So now Alex is laughing at Justin. Now I'm laughing at Justin. He's still crying. And Justin's mad at him. So then Justin starts hitting him. He can't defend himself. He's in tears. So Justin's hitting him. And then
I'm just letting it happen.
Yeah, I'm laughing so hard I can't defend him. Then Alex starts making fun of Justin. And then Justin gets mad at Alex. And then we all pile on Justin. And then we kind of let Franz alone. Until later on that night, we were about to go to bed, and then we really hammered him. Then, because he wasn't crying anymore, and I had to sit there and fucking cajole him the whole time, I didn't get to say anything funny. Then I
let him rip.
Yeah, then I let him rip.
Yeah,
I had
at
to
one
wait
point
for
they
my
started
moment.
singing "Let It Go" from Frozen.
How long did it take for you to find out that it definitely wasn't yours?
Well, she had a miscarriage, right?
Yeah,
Oh, Jesus.
like days later. So I'm
So
like,
he's not even sure whether. But
it
this girl,
definitely wasn't.
this girl is a total liar too, and she's had sex with like 1,000 people. So really, we have no idea what happened. Like, it
No
could
idea
have
what-
happened. If that is what happened, that's horrible and really sad.
I know it's the
But
funniest thing is
we
like.
have we have no idea.
By the way, we can't ever let my mom hear this particular podcast because she'll kill me.
I'll be sure to email it to her.
Thanks, bro.
Say, hey Sam, you
But,
want to hear
like-
about your son?
So like
Your boy,
after
are you
having
proud of
sex
him?
with this girl, like I went in unprotected.
Oh, this is
both
funny.
times.
Franz's beard.
And-
Is it about your beard?
Oh, that's the follow up story. No, so like, so you know how you're supposed to go get checked after having a new sexual partner, whatever. Like I didn't get tested at all for the next 2 months, just until my next scheduled doctor's appointment.
Mm-hmm.
And so they test me, and you know,
Franz, you gotta
they're-
stop shaking
sorry.
the desk. It's gonna be sound all bumpy.
You sound all bumpy.
You're,
Anyway,
you're gay.
your mom gay.
Fuck, you got me there.
But yeah, no, I go to the doctors, and for whatever reason, I'm 16 years old, and she's still in the fucking patient room with me. And I'm like,
Oh,
do you
that's
have to be
awkward.
here? And like, I'm visibly freaking the fuck out. Because they're making me do the piss test for an STD. I banged this very, very dirty, gross woman with no protection.
That's why we call him the cockpipe cosmonaut.
He was calling me that before
he
that
goes
happened.
he goes into unexplored territories cock first.
And
I wouldn't.
And
well,
so-
I don't know if you'd
Have you
call
seen-
that.
and so like I'm
unexplored.
freaking
Have you seen Prometheus?
No.
Okay, well, there's like a part in Prometheus, at least I think it's Prometheus, where like they take their helmets off on the alien world just to see if they can breathe, and the one guy's head like explodes because they can't take the pressure. That's Franz, except cock first.
Yeah,
He's the cosmonaut.
it's a real mess down here.
I-
But so like I'm visibly
Franz's dick
freaking
looks
out
like
in
Chernobyl
the.
at this point.
That's a compliment. So I'm freaking out in this operating room. My mom sees it and she's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, I'm worried that it might possibly have an STD." And she's like, "Yeah, you wore a condom, didn't you?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, but it was like the expired condoms that I've had since like 9th grade. Like I don't know, blah blah blah." Totally not true.
Mhm.
Totally not. Thankfully, came back clean as a fucking
See,
whistle.
at this point, I don't know why of all the things he would lie about, that would be where he starts to lie. Like, you might, if you're already in this thing, is that really going to make it any worse? Like, Mom, I fucked this disease-riddled whore, and I might have a kid, and all this crazy stuff. Did you wear a condom? Yeah? It's like, oh, okay. Like, that's really going to make this whole story
She knew
way
all
better.
about that. The kid and everything.
She smelt it on his beard. His beard smelled like fucking
That's not how
Boston.
she found out.
His beard smelled like the Boston market for about 3 days.
Yeah, it was so bad. 6 showers, scrubbing till skin came off. I ended up having to shave off my beard.
And Franz has never shaved his beard. He hates it. He had a thick fucking mane. He looked like Mustafa.
Oh,
and he had to
man.
shave it clean. And he was mad.
It's fucking nuts.
Are you doing
Do you want the Aladinus or the Aladinus? You are HIV Aladdin.
This is why we make fun of him, because even though we make fun of him all the time, he hasn't learned yet. In order for us to stop ripping on him, he's got to make better life decisions. And he just won't. He fucking can't do it. He just keeps... He's like Jim from American Pie, except in real life. Like, he just keeps being a fucking retard. And we've tried really hard to get him to stop, and he just physically cannot do it.
I miss those movies a lot. That's fucking
So I'm the
hilarious.
pie fucker, huh?
You've probably fucked worse at this point. You have fucked worse at this point.
Yeah.
You know another crazy story? Franz,
Oh, no.
after this whole thing happened, Franz like kissed like one girl for the next like 5 years. Like he never, after this whole thing happened,
Okay.
he never really did that much. Okay, two. I'm sorry, two.
It's alright. I didn't kiss a
But
girl
they-
until I was a senior.
But they were really far in between.
Yeah, well, I mean,
And,
there,
like, it
there
was
was my
never-
girlfriend after her.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. And it
And
never really
then-
went after that. And then that other girl, who I know you're talking about. Yeah. No,
And
I know, in the
then-
movie theater.
What?
Yeah, I'll explain it after. I
No,
can't
you're
use
gonna
it
have to
in.
explain that to me because. Oh. No, we almost got there. No, that didn't happen. There's
Okay,
some douchebags.
but anyway, so after this, Franz texted me a couple months ago, like, "Oh, I made out with a girl last night." I was like, "Oh, who was that?" He's like,
Nice.
"Oh, it was my cousin's girlfriend."
No. It was my buddy's cousin and my buddy's girl.
Okay, I'm sorry. He made out with his friend's girlfriend and his friend's cousin in front of his friend while his friend laughed about it.
He didn't laugh about it. It's just,
Didn't he tell you to do it?
yeah.
Franz cucked his friend with his family member and his girlfriend.
Man, that's amazing.
Okay, well,
No,
here's
that's
the
not
thing.
amazing, that's
I
horrible.
felt weird about it the whole time.
Cuck
We were
Pipe
drinking.
Cosmonaut is his new name.
I mean, I think that's amazing.
I felt weird
that
about
doesn't
it.
happen all the time.
I felt weird about it. We were all drinking, and you know that's just we get
It's
a little
something
make-outy
special.
when we're drinking. That's just how it is.
That, Franz, that's not how it is. I mean, granted, I don't
And
drink
friend
very
group it
often,
is.
but I've never made out with my friend's girlfriend or cousin.
You're saying you wouldn't let me make out with your friends when we got drunk? We're
No,
just
I'd let
Yeah,
you.
the fuck,
I'd,
Dylan.
I'd find that really hot. Only if I can polish my knob while you make out with
You
them.
polish your knob?
Yeah.
How are
I'm
you
not
gonna do
go-
that? You're
Franz,
not that bendy.
Franz, if my girlfriend is going to make out with another dude in front of me, the least I can do is jerk off to it.
Okay.
Okay? I might as well find a little bit of satisfaction. I'm not just going to sit there and let her have all the fun. No, I'm going to come too. And if it hits her, fine. If it hits my friend, even better. That's what you get for making out with my girlfriend.
I don't think we're ever gonna have that problem, man. Like, I'll
Well,
be real with you.
Well, we'll have to find out now, won't we?
No, I respect the sanctity of your relationship.
I'm not talking about you.
What?
Oh.
What?
Franz, come on.
I'm very confused right now.
Oh, me too, but...
Hashtag me too.
Shut the fuck up.
What if that girl, like, hashtag me too is you? Like, I was drunk, and my boyfriend and his friend were pressuring me into making out with his friend and all this stuff. What if you get hashtag me too?
It's game over.
Well, then I'll take your advice from when we were 9 and fucking kill myself. Like,
Franz, that's not advice from 9th grade. That's been
no,
advice.
from when you were 9.
Oh, from when I... Oh, yeah, I was 9. That's a good point. Love you.
Did you just do the leg thing, you fucking queer?
Yeah, I shoved my whole toe up her pussy. Yeah, you're right.
That's...
Bye, babe. We had an audience member for this
Yeah.
podcast.
How in the
She
fuck
seemed
are you in a
amused.
relationship? It
What do you
blows
mean?
my mind.
What did I do? What did I do? I honestly don't know what I did.
Just you being you. How? Like, I know we rip on me for being me a lot, but seriously, how in the fuck?
Give it to him, Franz.
Do you know why, Franz? This is the thing. This is the thing Franz doesn't understand. Franz was himself, and we made fun of Franz for being himself so much that he had to try to morph into an amalgamation of other people that we liked.
Not
So,
only that,
he
the
tried to-
negative parts of
Yeah,
those people.
Exactly, the worst part. So he tried to become an amalgamation like Alex was popular, I was popular. We were really good friends with Franz. So he tried to
I
be...
brought down their popularity.
So, I don't care about that. Fuck, you're a good friend. I could care less who likes me and who doesn't. I was popular because I didn't give a shit who liked me or who didn't. But anyway, so he became an amalgamation of me and Alex, but like the worst parts of me and the worst parts of Alex. So, like, he wasn't being technically himself, so we made fun of him even more. He's like, how can you get a girlfriend being you? Because I fucking own it. Alright? I don't fucking hide shit about myself. You're full of shame and regret and pain and angst and suicidal.
Wow, who started that? Huh?
And suicidal tendencies.
That's why like it's always like the asshole gets the girl. It's because they just don't give a fuck.
Well, it's not even that I'm an asshole. It's just that
Well, I'm just saying like that general stereotype is because they're like, fuck it.
Well, that's true, but I fucking own what I am. I'm weird, a little bit creepy. I can be very gay sometimes. I can be ultra gay just to make people uncomfortable. Like I've kissed Franz so many times just to make him mad. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
He has sent me videos of his penis.
When Franz moved in here, he spent the night at his mom's one night. So I sent Franz a video. I was like, this is what it looks like when you're not here. And the house was entirely clean. It was a joke saying Franz was messy. So I walked around.
Even though I was only allowed to
and then he flashed your copy. He told me.
So I walked around the whole house, videotaped everything was all clean. And then at the very end, I looked down and it's just my flaccid, soft dick flapping around.
I've seen it way too many times.
He's probably seen my dick 1,000 times. Did you expect that though? Did you expect that?
I laughed.
Did you expect that twist ending?
Just
that Shyamalan-esque fucking.
It's like
Bruce Willis.
I call my thing M. Night Shyamalan because there's a twist at the end of it.
Bruce Willis was dead the whole time is equivalent to my dick popping up in the kitchen. I love fucking with people. You've seen my dick a billion times, I'm sure, at school.
Probably like once or twice.
Oh, that's it?
I've seen Isaiah's way more.
Well, he
He's
showed
getting
everybody.
pretty fucking gay here, gentlemen. Just
Exactly. It makes people.
you know what's amazing?
That's why
he still hasn't seen my cock.
I actually have not seen his cock, which is weird because I've been hanging out with him since I was literally 9 years old.
Yeah, I think the only person.
I think I've seen your dick before. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I think
No,
Isaiah's
I haven't.
the only one.
I haven't actually seen it. No, you're right. I've seen a couple people's. That was when I was a kid and like I'd hear about like people in the locker rooms being naked and showing each other their dicks. I was like, oh, that's so gay. That's so dumb. Why would people do that? And then by the time I was a senior, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna show everyone.
It's just fucking funny. That's all it is, man.
It
When
is
it really
funny.
comes, it's just fucking hilarious.
It is hilarious. And yes, I understand that people get very upset when you show up their dicks, but the amount of laughs that you get from everyone else, totally worth it. That's why Louis C.K.'s innocent. Because I found that story hilarious. I'm sure the girls didn't like it very much, but the fact that other people laughed about it, dude, that's funny.
That is fucking funny. I hate fucking people who can't.
But what I've never done, I've never jerked off with another person in the room.
No, fuck that.
Unless it was
fucking-
my girlfriend. I've never done it with another person in the room. Weirdly
Dude,
enough,
I can't.
because
I can't even.
I've done it a trillion times, but I've never done it with another person in the
Whenever
room.
I've been with girls and they're like, they like say, well, you can like jerk off or something. I'm like, no.
You're like,
I'm
no,
not,
that
I'm,
is a private.
I'm like, I am
institution.
not jerking off in front of you. Like, I'm like,
No, you're way too nice for that.
yeah. It's just
Way
like,
too nice for that.
That,
Franz, I don't care.
sorry, I keep
I don't
fucking
care.
kicking your
No,
foot.
I'm not saying. It's just like that's what I would say to. It was like, well, you can jerk off in front of me. I'm like, no, I think you're too nice of a person
Oh,
to
yeah.
see something that grotesque.
Yeah.
I have too much respect for you. I don't want you to see.
I don't want you to see
I don't
me
want
like
you to
that.
see me as a balding 40-year-old redheaded dude. Like,
That's like
It's like when you're at your most vulnerable.
That's like O'Brien taking Winston down into room 101. It's like you're a nice guy.
No, I'll tell
if
you what
you
it's
really
like.
want to
It's
see
like
it.
it's like a girl asking. It's like a girl being like, "No, it's okay. You can shit in front of me. I don't care. I don't care. Take your shit. Is it a really big one? Yeah, it's fine." It's
that's
no.
also something that needs to. I need a deadbolt on my bathroom door.
Well, that's because you have the raunchiest ass cheeks in the history of mankind, Franz.
Oh yeah, there's nothing solid about it. You just got a snot rocket there, buddy.
I know. I got a little sneezy boy. in
You a
here.
little excited in the nose area?
Yeah, I blew a fucking. What was it? A Neil Young Coke bubble right on his live concert. If you watch, I forgot what I think it's called The Stand. Is that what it's called?
On
It was-
Netflix.
No, not that. It was this concert video. It was like the Eagles and the Eagles and the band and Fleetwood Mac
Oh, boy.
and a bunch of other people. Like it was just this really big concert. Neil Young was in it, and they had to edit it out. But there is video of while they're filming it, Neil Young was playing, I think it was Heart of Gold or Harvest Moon, and just a giant Coke bubble blows out of his nose in the middle of the fucking song.
No.
Dude,
Yeah.
huge.
Like how
Talking
big?
Huge,
Big
like
old line.
big.
What does that
old
look
bump.
like?
It looks
Well,
like
it
like
looks
a
like
snot bubble, but
snowball.
it's filled with cocaine in it.
Dude, what
Yeah.
do you mean? Like, how do you, like, was it, like, on, like, was there, like, a big TV or something? Just,
Yeah,
like,
no,
like-
it's they have video of the whole concert and everything, and it's zoomed in on
The
his face.
splash
and a
zone was all
Coke
fucking
bubble blows
coked
out of
out.
his nose. Yeah, pretty much. He fucking got the front row high as fuck.
That's fucking amazing. They didn't bring their nose plugs.
Yeah, he should.
They warned him.
You should have said, "Plug your nose for this next song, kids." Keep me searching for a heart of fucking. He sees it's about $155 worth of coke all over fucking Chad in the front row.
That's like fucking ass wiping money to Neil Young, dude.
You know what? That's true. Neil Young was the second person I ever saw in concert.
Who's
Oh,
the
he was
first?
great. Rush.
Word?
Rush was fucking awesome.
I bet.
Rush was so good, dude. I
Think-
saw Rush, and then I saw Neil Young, then I saw All That Remains, and then I went to a festival, then another festival, and then Metallica, and then we went to go see Buckethead.
Buckethead was.
I need to go
fucking
see
dope.
Buckethead.
Buckethead was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I
dude.
wanted
He's
to go
so
see
good.
Machine over the Strand the other night, but
You've seen them before, haven't you?
I saw Brit Floyd.
Oh. My dad saw the Machine. He said he closed his eyes and he thought he was literally at a Pink Floyd
That's what it
concert.
was with Brit Floyd, man. Like it's ridiculous. How
And they had the
talented
laser
they are.
shows going and shit.
Dude, like they had a fog machine because I was over at the Flynn Theater for Brit Floyd, and they had a fog machine, and I ran into a guy I went to school with at that concert, and I'm like, "Hey man, how's it going?" He's like, "Fucking hey, bud, it smells like fucking weed up in those balconies. There's a fucking old guy right there just toking right the fuck up," and I'm like.
What do
Well,
you
when
expect?
when I
Yeah.
went to go
It's
see
a Pink Floyd concert and there's smoke machines. Of course you're going to fucking
when
do that.
when I went to go see Neil Young, I was 8 and I went with my grandparents because my grandmother's favorite person ever is fucking Neil Young. So when I saw them, there were these two people, literally just this old couple, like in their late 60s, just passing a joint in between them the whole time, and I could smell it. I knew what it was, and I looked at my grandmother. And I was like, "Is that what I think it is?" She was like, "Yeah, just ignore it. Just let it go. Like that's
Look
what
at you
they're
now.
gonna do."
And look at you now.
I
Those goddamn baby boomers.
fucking boomers, man. But hey, I mean, I'm sure they enjoyed their concert.
I'm sure they did.
Neil Young was so
So-
good. He shattered his fucking guitar playing "Rockin' in the Free World."
Oh, I believe
Smashed
it.
the shit out of it. It was great. No, at first at the end solo where he goes wicked fast, he played it so hard that the strings were flying off the end of it.
So he just
and, like,
broke his strings.
Well, that too, and then after the strings came completely off, then he just started smashing. He's like in his 70s. He just started beating the shit out of his guitar, and it
yeah,
was
like when is Neil
it was
Young gonna
a-
go? Because I
It
feel
was
like
a
he
nice
needs
fucking
to.
guitar. No, Neil Young's so good, man.
No, I mean I agree, but like
Neil Young's one of those
he's
people.
getting old.
You got-
Neil Young's one of those people. He's like Boston. Like you never really. Everybody likes him, but nobody ever like talks about it. Like I met one of my good. I used to be really good friends with him. I haven't talked to him for a while, but old friends from work, Josh. I asked him, I was like, "Who's your favorite band of all time?" And he said Boston. And I was like, "Dude, that's the craziest answer I've ever heard." He's like, "How? They're amazing." I was like, that's why. They're really fucking good. They're amazing. Everything about them is
But no one
awesome,
talks about it.
But no one ever says, "Oh yeah, Boston's my favorite band." Like
That's
it's
so
just
true.
it's a weird thing. It's the same thing with like fucking it's the same thing with like the opposite of Led Zeppelin. Like people who when you talk about Led Zeppelin, you'll get one of two answers. You'll get people say they are my favorite band of all time, or they're my top 3 favorite bands of all time, or they'll say
Like Blue Oyster Cult.
kind of like Blue Oyster Cult, yeah. Or they'll go, "I fucking hate Led Zeppelin."
That's
there's
what you
no
were.
there's no in between. I'm more in the middle now. I respect some of it. I'm just not the biggest fan of Robert Plant. I also don't like the fact that Jimmy Page was raping 14-year-olds in his basement. Not the biggest fan of
What?
that. Oh, dude, he kidnapped a 14-year-old and kept her as a sex slave in his basement.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Why didn't he just go to the island?
I think this was before Epstein, I'm pretty sure. But yeah,
No,
but then,
Epstein learned from Page.
But he literally said, like, the family was going to sue him, and he literally said, "I'm Jimmy Page. You really think anybody's going to do anything about me?" He's like, "I'm in fucking Led Zeppelin." And so they just dropped the suit because they knew that no court was going to do anything to him.
Little did they
Wow.
know
Yeah, me too. Was
Little-
about to fucking.
Little
strum
did they
around.
know that there is a due process.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? You never
See,
heard about
drugs-
that?
That
Dude,
if
people-
there's one thing that will bring you down, unless you're a Clinton or any big E CEO,
Even then, CEOs get fucking tossed. Les Moonves.
it's because
Um,
there's nothing worse in this world than raping like children. There's nothing worse. Well, no, I don't. I mean, you can do worse after that, but that's pretty bottom of the barrel.
It is pretty crazy how like child molestation is like the worst possible thing. Like if you were in prison, like serial murderers, mass shooters, fucking just regular rapists, all these horrible people are all together, and then they see a child molester, and everybody bands together like, hey, the Bloods and Crips get together.
Yeah,
the
they're like-
the Latin Kings and the Nazis are like, hey, I know we don't like each other, but there's a fucking kitty fiddler over there.
there's a
and
real-
Kitty fiddler?
and we're gonna go beat the
Boo-boo
shit out
kitty
of them.
fuck?
Like,
Isn't that crazy though? How
Oh,
much
more,
people
do I
hate
have a
child
story to
molesters.
tell you. And it involves...
did you fiddle a kitty?
We can hope not.
No. So there was one time, Dylan and I are about 15 years old, and I'm home alone one night, and I want someone to talk to, and so I go through my phone, and I'm like, oh, I haven't texted my friend Maddie in a while, and so because I haven't texted her, I'm like, hey, is this Maddie?
Oh, this is a great story.
And
We're not gonna use the name of the other person,
No.
but he knows this other person.
No. That's all you need to know. But, so, I get a text back like 10 minutes later, like, this is her dad, who's this? And I'm like, oh, this is your friend Franz from school. And I don't hear anything for a half hour. And then I get a call from what I assume is the most outraged mother ever, trying to figure out who the hell I am. She's losing her mind. She's like, how old are you? I'm like, 15. She's like, 15? Madison is 10. I'm like,
No,
oh
this
my
was,
God.
No, this wasn't. You weren't 15. We were 16 or 17 at this
No,
point.
we were 15. Trust me.
No, because I was on my way to Florida.
You're on your way to
graduation.
New York City.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, I was on my way to New York City, so I was in 10th grade. Yeah, I was in 10th grade. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so
Keep
we're...
fucking
so I was
kicking.
14. I was 15.
Playing football.
Just turned 15.
Yeah, so, and so I'm like, oh shit, I realized what has happened. I've gotten a wrong number
Oh my.
with a person who has the same name. Cause I guess my luck is just that good. And so, like, she's starting to call the cops, and I end up hanging up. And I'm like, my parents come back at like 11:30 at night. The house is completely dark. They see me. I am whiter than a ghost in the complete dark. Like, freaking the fuck out about this. And I finally, after a topsy-turvy night's sleep, I wake up to turn on my phone. And the first thing that happens is I get a text from Dylan.
No, I called you. I texted you first. I was like, and then I called you like 7 times. You finally answered.
Yeah.
And I was crying of laughter, like tears pouring down my face on my way to New York City, just crying of laughter because the person he texted, the child Maddie instead of the adult Maddie, who somehow got the same phone number and was also named Maddie. I got a fucking text from my girlfriend. She's like, do you know a Franz Pope? And I was like, yeah, he's one of my best friends. Why? And she was like, he just texted my other friend's little sister. It was the fucking funniest.
They're trying to figure out who I
they were
am, and
like,
so
is he a
finally, after I
pedophile?
get
Is he
off the
trying to fuck the sister, so I called Franz, just crying of laughter. I was like, dude, this is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. You are getting accused of being a child fucker. And I did get the story. I was like, Franz, like, tell me this isn't true, because I didn't fucking know. This story's way too convenient for it to not be that way.
It's such a perfect like example of how bad it is that just a text message, a one line, hey,
and so
how much trouble that could get you into.
Here's the thing. So after I get off the phone with this fucking guffawing asshole, I go on Facebook, and there's this big paragraph from the older sister, and just wondering who the fuck am I? Why am I texting her sister? And I told her
Oh
the
my
whole
God.
thing.
Put it on Facebook?
No, she didn't put it on Facebook. She messaged me.
Oh, okay.
And this was during the time of Facebook where you could just message someone no matter if you weren't friends with them or not.
Yeah.
And then like after that, which was weird. Like I ended up explaining to her like, listen, I'm really sorry. I explained the whole thing, and she thought it was kind of funny. Then she sent me a friend request after. I'm like, okay, kind of weird, but whatever. And so like I'm really frazzled by all of this. And what strikes me is that what crossed his girlfriend's mind as to why to ask him about Franz Pope was they were hanging out, him, the older sister, and his girlfriend a few weeks beforehand. And I was texting him. And his girlfriend happened to look down and she goes, oh, who's Boo Boo Kitty Fuck? And he's like, oh, that's my friend Franz. And like 2 weeks later, Mom and I had picked up Dylan from his house and we were driving over and going over that story again. And there's just a lull of silence. And Dylan's like, man, it's a good thing I spelled Kitty Kitty instead of D-D-Y. Oh. Like,
that might be my best joke about that.
And so I end up going to school on Monday, and I'm still frazzled about all of this. And I end up telling my English teacher, and like I had I had said who it was, like who had messaged me asking about me texting their younger sister, and then this dude in my class just picks his head up. He was like, wait, do you mean so-and-so? And I go, yeah. He goes, dude, she's my cousin. And then I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, it gets worse. I hate living where I lived.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next year, she fucking goes to school at my school. And she, like, glared me down for the first 2.5 months I was there. Like, hate. Visceral hate. For nothing.
It's so
In her
dumb.
defense, though, is that
Look at
really
me.
is that really a believable story that you just happened to text a different Maddie with the same number being you? Like, is that really a believable coincidence? No, it is not.
No, that is really just my fucking
And
luck.
that is why it's the funniest fucking thing. Because there's no way anybody should believe that that is a coincidence, and it fucking was. That's why I love that story so much. Franz,
so funny.
this is why we make fun. Dude, like I said, he keeps putting himself in shitty situations. Even though this one, which was 100% not his fault, he still finds a way to fuck up somehow.
I'm real good at it.
That's what he's best at. If there's like a professional asshole, that's what Franz would be best at.
Get it from my daddy.
Yeah. Okay.
I just farted like 5 machine gun farts in a row. It felt so. Oh, there's no. Oh, that one was a little wet.
I heard that.
That one was a tiny bit wet.
Um,
That's not good.
did you just really do that?
Well, hold on. I got another one brewing up.
Don't
If it's
trust
wet, if it's
that.
wet, then that means that it's bad.
Oh.
Okay, I'm about to shit my pants. I will be
Podcast
out.
over.
I'll be out in about 2 minutes. You guys
No.
keep it going.
No. Oh my
I'll
god.
be out in 2 minutes.
Oh my god.
It's 6:15, by the way, Dylan.
It's alright.
Oh my goodness.
He is ripping asshole.
Yeah.
It's like machine gun turrets, just like he said.
That's fucking.
What sort of asshole doesn't close the bathroom door all the way?
It's my house, faggot. I can do what I want.
Close the door.
No, now I'm gonna have it more open.
Morg, you want to just like... Thanks.
Oh.
Yeah, so when you hear that Franz has had a hard life, now you know. You have a bit of that insight.
Yeah. Nah, I'm starting to get a bigger picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of it could have been avoided, not hanging out with Dylan.
Yeah. That's definitely yeah. But no one else wanted to hang out with me.
It's funny you say that, because if Franz wasn't hanging out with me and that would have happened, then Franz definitely would have been thought of as a pedophile. I was the only thing saving Franz's life in that scenario.
I'm pretty certain that he did not just pull his pants up.
I like
That.
to imagine that there was just poop dripping down his leg.
Why would you like to imagine that? Like
It's funnier that way.
that's just your image of Dylan always. There's like, oh, Dylan's calling. That's what you think of.
Just
shit running
shit
down his leg.
sliding down his fucking
It's
leg.
like a fucking mudslide.
That's why my favorite song.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's why I like the
Landslide.
song.
Yeah, haha. Get out of here.
Calls it the landslides.
Whoa.
Um,
Jesus Christ, dude. That fucking reeks.
I can't smell anything.
You're fucking lucky.
I know.
It's gonna singe your nose hairs, but you're not gonna smell it.
Doesn't matter.
Lucky.
Yeah.
That could gag a maggot.
I wish I wasn't like so sick. Had more like energy for this.
Oh, yeah, I get you, but right now it's
Yeah,
probably
I'm
your
sure
strongest
it's-
defense right now. Ugh. Fucking A. So, how's school going, Morg?
Oh man, it's going.
Yeah?
Just getting through the semester, trying to figure out what I want to do afterwards.
Alright, are you, what's your major? Are you undeclared?
So I have an associate's degree in computer electrical technology.
Word? Good for you, man.
And I'm switching to a history major, with the goal of law school.
Word, my older brother actually just passed the bar.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
He gets certified in February, I think.
In New York?
In Vermont, too.
Oh,
Because
okay.
New York and Vermont's bar
Really?
laws are universal for them. Like, I'm sure there's, like, slight differences, but he's able to practice in both New
Okay.
York, Vermont, I think California, a few different ones.
New York, Vermont, California, what, the 3 worst places in the country?
No, I get it. And that's where lawyers thrive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not in New York. In New York, lawyers are fucking. There's no such thing as due process in New York.
No, lawyers in New York end up killing themselves.
Just ask OJ, Rob Kardashian. Lawyers in New York or in California
make sense.
get fired, and then they're left for a transgender person.
Keith seems to be doing well.
I guess so. How do you guys feel about trannies? That's what I really want to know. That's what this whole podcast. Trannies. How do you guys feel about trannies?
Here's to maintain the same thing I've said forever. I support everyone doing whatever they want to do, as long as it's 1, not hurting other people, 2, not affecting my life in any negative connotation. Like, you do what you want. That's the point of life. It's too fucking short for you to really care.
Too short
about
for
other
you because
people.
you tried killing yourself when you were 9, you fucking cunt.
Yeah, I tried choking myself out with my grubby little hands with no
You
strength
little
in them.
Fat sausage fingers.
Sausages.
Um,
How do you feel about trannies, Morgan?
yeah, basically the same point of view as Franz,
You know what?
but I mean, I don't know. I'd
You know-
rather stay away from it.
You know what?
Not my cup of tea.
You know what? I'm gonna agree with you guys. 100%. I don't care what you want to do as long as you're an adult. I don't like when fucking parents force their kids to do it.
Yeah, that's
like
when
at
it becomes a
like at
problem.
Elizabeth Warren's fucking town hall thing. She was talking about how proud she was of this woman brought a 9-year-old transgender kid that was going through hormone therapy and chemical castration, and everybody was clapping for this 9-year-old.
So dumb.
Like they're not
the
ruining this
9-year-old's
entire
gonna
kid's
fucking,
life.
I don't know.
Grow up and kill itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's because it's already in Canada. They did the same fucking thing. Canada was way ahead of the fucking game on that, and now they've already gone through all that bullshit of parents like to asking the child when they're like fucking 3 if they're a boy or a girl, and then immediately giving them a sex change, and then growing up to be 17 and like huge suicide rates.
I mean, look, if I have a kid in the future who is born one way, but through time goes through whatever journey and decides that they aren't the gender that they're born, I'm still gonna love my fucking kid because
Yes,
I
but
know
are
I
you-
raised a good kid.
But are you
and
gonna
if-
let them do that when they're 9 years old, or would you wait till they're like 18 or older to make that decision when they're actually, at least developed enough to be able to make that decision for themselves?
safely? I would go to the safer side about this, and I'll tell them, like, listen, if this is how you feel, that is okay, and I would like it if you stayed open with me about these kind of things. And if one day in the future you want to go as far as maybe a sex change operation or what have you not, and
Well,
all
you
of
got-
this,
yeah.
I just want to make sure it's safely done. Because if you're at a young age like that, your body isn't developed for the gender you were born in at 9 years old. Like, you have to wait until you're developed fully for the safest process possible.
I wouldn't even
then
be
it's
worried
not
about
even
that.
necessarily safe. But I mean, at least it's a bit more.
Yeah, but
safe.
you know how
guess.
medical science is going to
Yeah.
advance in the next 10, 20 years if
That's
I even
true.
do have kids, which I hope I don't.
You might have already had one.
Nah.
You were close.
Nah.
That kid was going to be a trainee. That's why Franz is so upset.
That is not the case at all.
No, but
That kid was going to be born preemie and addicted to drugs.
yeah.
Franz.
Crack Baby Athletic
Franz
Association.
fucking ketamine, baby. Thing's born on horse tranquilizers.
No. But in my personal opinion, it's gonna be like, I'm gonna completely let that be up to my kid, but I'm not gonna let them get a sex change until they're 18. Or whatever the legal age that they decide to let that be, but it's just like,
See,
that's something like you really need to be confident.
Well, I mean, but like, there's
See,
the
I would,
thing.
I
You
would,
can't
see,
fucking-
I would tell them their whole life, no, you're not a girl, you're a boy. No, you're not a girl, you're a boy. You're a boy, you're a boy, you're a boy. And then if they get to 18 and they still genuinely feel like they are a girl or whatever and it's a boy, I'll be like, okay, fine. You're an adult now. Make your own decisions. Do whatever you got to do. But also, they did a study in Sydney where they realized that, like, they took like 10,000 kids who had gender dysphoria when they were prepubescent, and then if they're not given hormone blockers and sex change operations and all this stuff, 98% of them revert back to their original thing, but most of them turn out to just be gay. Whereas, and so if you feed into this delusion and all of this stuff, you're going to end up fucking that kid over because people with gender dysphoria have a 43% chance of attempting suicide.
Yeah.
So if you just let them go through this whole thing while they're kids and everything, then there's such a high chance that they try to kill themselves. It's horrible.
I mean,
it really
like,
is horrible. And nobody should kill themselves. I'm a libertarian, fucking like an ANCAP to the extreme. I don't believe in government at all. Anybody can do anything that they possibly want. All drugs should be legal. All fucking operations should be legal. If you want to get one eye cut out because you just want to live life with one eye, go ahead. You're not hurting me. Who am I to tell you that
okay,
you
they're
can't?
Slade.
But you know what I mean. If you want to do something that's not going to hurt anybody else, go ahead and do it. I don't care. But you're not going to convince me that a biological man who believes it's a woman is actually a woman. No, that's just fucking completely false. You can go ahead and, live your life however you want, but you aren't going to be able to get me to say, oh, you are a woman. I'm not going to feed into that. Go, if you want to, fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? Express yourself that way, go ahead, but I'm just not going to completely be, like, I'm okay with it. I don't care what you do. I'm not going to think of you any differently, but...
Like, you personally are going to think that if a guy gets a sex change to a woman, that they are biologically a man, but would you respect if they asked you to call them, like, she or, like, a girl or something, would you respect that?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not going to be mean to somebody who's going through a lot of shit that they have to deal with. I'm not going to be mean and specifically go out to, like, make that person feel even worse about themselves.
But personally, as yourself.
I'm not going to, like, I'll say, say they change their names, or I'll use whatever name or pronoun, whatever they want me to use.
Whatever's comfortable for them.
Yeah, but I'm not going to genuinely, like, it's not going to change my mind on it. I'm just going to say, okay, well, it's not me, so I'm not really going to worry about it.
Even at that point, and like,
at
why
that
would
point,
it
who
matter?
cares? Yeah, why does it matter what I think about it? This is your life. You live it how fucking you want to live it. Who cares what I think? Just go fucking ahead and do it. Okay, but anyway, this is another thing I wanted to ask you guys. How do you feel about solipsism?
The fuck is that?
I'm with him on that one.
Solipsism is the theory that everything going on around you is not real and it's all created in your head and you're really the only true person alive. So, like, and the way that, like...
And we have shared realities.
No, not even that.
No, that
not
everything
even
is
that.
fake.
So, like, how I'm a genuine solipsist, like 100%. I believe that I'm the only real person. Like, even if I found a machine to where I could see through, like, your brain and what you're thinking and what you're seeing and everything, all of the things I would see would still have to register through my brain first in order for me to process it. So what I believe is that I'm really the only living person. You guys are kind of like figments of my imagination. and
You're
not
a
really
dick if you
completely,
created me then,
and
bro.
you're really not completely real, and I'm the only real person. I'm 100% solipsist because it
It
just
makes
seems,
sense if he did make you, though.
It just
Right?
I don't know. It just seems that like I can't prove that you're real. I can prove that I'm real.
I think therefore I am.
Exactly.
That's exactly
but
what
I
it
can't
is.
think for you guys, and I can't prove that you guys are real because I can't be inside you guys' brains. So I genuinely believe that I'm the only real person.
I've thought about this conversation so much, but it always comes down to a dead end, which is what
Even if
you
it's
just
true,
got
what
to.
do you have to gain from it? You might as well.
Nah, it's just there's no way to prove it. There's no way to disprove it. It's just
Well,
Yeah,
just
but-
because something's
but the-
inside your head doesn't mean it's not fucking real.
But the only evidence that I can have is my own. That's the crazy thing. That's why I am like a solipsist. Like the shitty thing about it is like I have nothing to gain from it. Like even say I'm right and you guys are all in my head and you're not really truly real, right? I have nothing to gain from that. Like that would be horrible. But I kind of believe it in the same way like some people believe in like religion or whatever. That's kind of what I believe. Like I don't believe in, God or fucking hell or anything like that. I believe that I'm the only I don't know how I'm creating all of these things, but I just am, because if I wasn't creating them, then there would be nothing.
There's one like
And everything just seems way too convenient.
there's one philosophy that it goes like this. So imagine you can dream a dream for like as long as you want, like 70 years at a time. Like you dream this dream for 70 years, like and you can do literally anything you want. So you're gonna fucking sex, booze, just everything is gonna be
think
amazing.
of a better fucking life for
for
me here, buddy.
all
Mr.
of
Solipsist.
No, but just for you, you're basically God. It's a dream that you have complete control of for like a 70-year span. So the next night you go to bed, after you do that for like a week of just pure bliss all the time, eventually you're going to get bored of that. So one of the nights you're eventually going to say, well, you know what, this is kind of boring now. So like, how can I make this fun? And you start adding in all of these unknown variables that you have to then deal with. And the theory is that eventually you end up where you are right now.
That's
In
holy fuck.
in a
That's
com-
actually really interesting.
in a completely
Like basically giving up complete control to where you're kind of just going through it.
where there's unlimited variables. Anything could happen at any time, and you're just here dealing with it. And this is the best dream that you could have dreamed.
See,
of.
that's another thing that has to do with solipsism is like if I were to die, like I were to go brain dead, I was to die, like everything else would stop. Like there wouldn't be anything else because everything was
There's
in my
no way
head.
for you to prove.
Yeah, and so if I die,
You're right.
yeah, exactly. And then another thing that has to do with it is like, like if I were about to say I thought I was going to die, really I would just be thrown into like a new life and just create something completely different. And that's another crazy theory I've heard is that this isn't solipsism, but this is like when you die, basically like
a baby is born.
When you die, the dopamine and the DMT floods your brain or whatever. Like
7 minutes
like-
of brain activity. That's where your life flashes before your eyes.
Yeah, your whole life flashes before your eyes.
So you don't
So
know
say-
what part of the
so-
circle
Oh
you're
my
in right
god,
now.
I've listened to that.
But exactly, but like, so say it goes through your entire life. So say it's 10 seconds, right? So you go all the way up, relive your entire life up until you hit that moment where you die again and your brain's flooded. And then you have to relive it again. And then
So
you
what
just
if
keep
you're just
reliving
constantly reliving
it. Exactly.
Because you never know what
because
it's
an
a closed loop.
Yeah, because it's an infinite amount of time too, because you always will hit that wall where you relive it. And you'll just keep going, and it'll get faster and faster and faster, but you'll keep reliving it and reliving it and reliving it. So, like, you basically relive your life an infinite amount of times after you already died.
Because it's a closed loop.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that fucking bananas? Like,
Yeah,
they
I've
think
thought
that
about-
genuinely is something that happens. So, like, I possibly might be dead and just reliving this. That's another cool thing about solipsism, is, like, I can't prove that, like, say 3 minutes, say I just came into reality this second, right? The second before me could just be implanted memories into my brain, and none of that actually happened. I'm just remembering it from before.
Epignatic
So
memories.
really, Yeah, exactly. So this second is true, but when I just told you before, I was talking about that second, that's just a memory, and that's all fake. And that's just me reliving it. Or remembering it. Remembering something that just did not happen. And I can't prove if it did or not. I'm terrifying Morgan right
We're all
now.
way too
No.
sober for this conversation.
You know what?
right
You
now,
might
know
actually
that?
you might actually be right when it comes to that. But it's just fucking crazy to think of, right?
That it is
It's genuinely like insane.
in the membrane.
But I can't convince myself otherwise. And that's the scariest
And the best way to live with it is to just not think about it.
Yeah, pretty much the only way I can really just be like I'm okay with it is when I just forget about it. Or I just say, okay, well, if this is what I'm doing, then I might as well, do my best with it.
I also like to think about shit like the fact that we can keep trying to break shit down to be smaller and smaller and smaller. Like we're down to quantum fucking particles, whatever the fucking
Quarks.
we're gonna keep breaking that shit down. There's shit that makes that up. There's gonna be shit that made that up. We're never ever. I honestly genuinely believe there's no way that there's any base level thing that builds up anything. There's just it. If you just think about the concept of that, there's no way. There's no way.
There's
like,
no end.
because there can't be something without nothing.
Jesus Christ.
And then you think
This
about,
is fucking-
and then you think
this is
about like
fucking
what
my
we
head
build
way too
up. Like
much.
what the fuck's bigger than us? Like what the fuck does this galaxy make up? Like you ever see like those diagrams like when they fucking zoom out on like okay so this is probably what it looks like. It's like you look at that and you're like it looks like a bunch of fucking blood vessels like just fucking or veins running through a system or like maybe what do you think
Well,
we
there's
build
the
up?
thing, like they were able to zoom down into the very, very smallest parts of our DNA strands, and do you know what it looked like? Computer code.
Mm-hmm.
Identical to computer codes. So if we, not knowing that, whether we subconsciously knew it or not, when we created computers and used the technology, we created a semblance of codes and letters and numbers that genetically match our makeup. Whether we
I
knew
heard
that we were doing that or
Eric
not.
Weinstein was talking about this, and it was the craziest shit I've ever heard in my entire life.
Like, who's to say that all of this isn't just a giant computer simulation? Like, we are the fucking Sims.
I don't know if it would.
See,
if it's like really a computer simulation. but-
I believe in the simulation theory. Like, if solipsism isn't real, then the Matrix theory is the second most realistic thing, in my opinion.
Look at us, we're all Deadpool breaking the fourth fucking wall.
Mr. Nobody from Doom Patrol.
I haven't watched it yet, I gotta...
Great fucking show. One of the best shows I've ever seen.
Is it Brendan Fraser playing as Cliff?
Yeah, Robot Man.
That's what I thought.
He's not the best in the show though. Diane Guerrero is the best. Does one of the best acting performances I've ever seen.
Melting
in that show.
Girl?
No, Crazy Jane. She plays 64 personalities.
I haven't seen.
You gotta
Doom
watch
Patrol
it.
yet.
You
the
gotta
only thing I've
binge it.
seen so far was the Titans episode with them. But since I'm
That
all
is
caught
completely
up,
different.
I'm all caught up on Titans right now, so I can start watching.
How'd you
Doom
like
Patrol.
Superboy?
Holy
Wasn't that
fuck.
one of the
Hold on.
coolest live action fucking Superman scenes where he inhales all the gas
Yeah.
and he uses the super breath? Dude, they put so many. I was really happy to see all the powers that they put in, like the super breath and his fucking super strength and his heat vision and all this awesome shit. I was really excited to see the super breath because normally people kind of just like, oh, that one's too goofy. We'll
Yeah.
fucking forget about that. But I was
Okay,
so
I hate
pumped
to
see
interrupt
it.
you guys, but can you imagine how pissed off we would be if we ever found out why life exists? I guarantee you it's
There's no
something.
fucking
It's
reason.
something absolutely retarded.
There's no
It's
reason. Reason is
it's
fuck it.
probably the dumbest shit. Nah, and I bet you it's not even fuck it. I bet you it's something real dumb. Like,
Well, that's the thing is that do we it's the thing Neil deGrasse Tyson says, your boy there, your favorite. It's the thing he says is that every time you answer a question, you have more questions to ask about the answer.
he wasn't the fucking first person to say
No,
that.
but I've heard. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, it's something I've heard from him.
And just to be clear, I don't discredit that he's smart. I'm saying he's a smart guy, but
You're just saying this in case he somehow winds up hearing this.
no, I'll tell him straight to his fucking
Well,
face.
he's obviously
What I'm saying is-
unbelievably intelligent.
Yeah, he's absolutely.
Morgan just think he hasn't really
he's
done
absolutely
anything beside-
intelligent.
Morgan is of the
Other than
belief
the
that
cosmos, which might be his greatest feat.
Which wasn't even originally his.
That was
Yeah.
Carl
Carl
Sagan.
Exactly.
But I take it you're of the belief that while he is unbelievably intelligent, you haven't really seen him do many intelligent things other than tell people what's smart.
Yeah, exactly. Other
I
than
mean, I
just
get
keep
that.
people informed. So like he hasn't fucking came up with like the black hole theory.
Well, I think that's
Stephen Hawking came
I
up
think
with.
that's
I call
mostly.
it a Hawking hole.
I think that's mostly what he's there for, though, is to make
Yeah.
people more informed rather than.
Which
coming
is
up
like
with
a good
bunch of
cause.
crazy
It's just like when I hear people like fucking put him on such a big pedestal.
You
and
know,
it's like-
I get that. I get where you're coming from, but he is
Yeah,
unbelievable.
no,
You're
he's
gonna put his foot
absolutely
down?
he's an unbelievably smart person. But I'll tell you what, listening to him on Joe Rogan's podcast, Joe couldn't get a fucking word out. Everything Joe would be talking about the water, like he'd be like, "Yeah, I had some really good water today," and then fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson, he'd fucking go off for like half an hour on why his water probably tasted good.
That's why I liked that podcast, though, is because normally it's the complete opposite, where anybody Joe Rogan invites on, like they'll say something and then Joe Rogan will be like, "Let me stop you right there," and then he'll go off on a tangent and like makes the interviews more about himself than the other people. He interrupts people a
Nah.
lot, so I was really happy to see Neil deGrasse Tyson.
From what I've seen, usually, I don't know which ones you've been watching.
I've seen
still
like hundreds,
but
of them.
like from what at least his more recent ones, it's usually like a good back and forth where he definitely lets the other people get a good word in. You know, like when I listened to his one with David Goggins, like his whole thing was just letting David fucking talk about his life.
You don't think he interrupts at all? I think he interrupts.
He interrupts, but you're just gonna get that in conversation. You need
Yeah,
it.
well, that's true. I interrupt people a fuck ton.
I hadn't noticed.
Wait, what was that?
What?
Anyway, okay, so I was trying to interrupt you, but you only said one fucking word.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you.
Alright, what time is it?
It's like, time. Oh shit, yeah, I have basketball soon. Okay, let's wrap this.
All right.
Let's wrap this bad puppy up.
This was a good podcast, gentlemen.
All right, let's get some plugs in, guys. Franz, what have you been up to? What are you doing?
Living.
Living and giving?
No.
Just living.
Barely.
Okay. Morg, what are you up to?
Like right now,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the library, do
Good.
some homework.
Good man. What I've been up to is this. This is what I've been waiting a while to do this. This is all I really look forward to.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So,
You need a new
Well,
hobby.
happy to help.
well, thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Hey, you have a great day, Franz.
You
I'm
too.
fucking driving you home. Okay.
Well, I still
You
appreciate
have a
the
great
warm
day.
human contact.
You have a great day, gentlemen.
All right,
You
thank
as well.